Hey Lobos, Ben Johnson here to record this week's High Tech Friday. This week we take a look at Adobe Spark, which is a cool new tool made by Adobe. Basically, they wanted to make some product that would allow everyday people to make videos that really pop, websites that really pop, and also posters that really pop. So to use the free version, you can just Google Adobe Spark. The first result will take you here. You can just go ahead and log in at the top right. For the sake of this demo, I'm just going to have you log in with your Google account. However, if you use this with students, I'll show you how to make pro accounts, and the only difference is that you'll be logging in with the school account. So just remember, when you make the pro account, you'll use this login with school account. For right now, just go ahead and continue with Google and choose your PSD email address. And you'll have to, I think, put maybe your birth date in and answer some questions. I've already done that, so it just takes me right to my account. The three things that it'll do if you click on the plus sign at the top is posters, and it makes all these really nice templates, so even if you're not graphically talented or a designer, you can still make these wonderful graphics. Web pages that really pop. They're the sort of single web pages that as you scroll through them, images sort of enlarge and fade in, fade out. You'll see a lot of New York Times articles written with this sort of technology now. Just really makes the web page pop. And then the video, again, all these different templates that are ready to go. So those are the three things that it does. It really makes them pop. If you want to know what's the difference between a Google site and an Adobe Spark site, the Google site is awesome. It's easy to use, but it basically requires you to do anything that's graphically amazing, whereas the Adobe Spark is going to sort of just do that for you without you having any design experience. So I'll just take a quick look at the web page. And again, you would just scroll through here, figure out which type you want, and it'll build that template. So I'll just do a report web page. These are designed to really be kind of single page articles, not necessarily like a website like you might make with Google sites. Anyways, it just has all of the prompts sort of built into it, so you can just replace their text with yours. So you can hit the plus sign at the bottom of each of these little pages to add things. The free photos that come with Adobe Spark are really nice. And you can use your own photos, and once you get the pro account, you can use the Adobe images without the watermarks in them. If you scroll down, you can just keep adding more pages. You can do more photos, more text. So if students are going to be writing an essay, maybe you're doing this instead of an essay or a report, they're just going to use this text box to type their paper. Buttons, if you did want to make it more like a traditional web page, you could add your own buttons. It's just going to be a little bit more work to build out a website, because it's not a tool that's designed for multiple pages, but you could link multiple pages together with these buttons. Videos, these are videos from YouTube that you embed within your website. Photo grids, it sort of lays out the pictures that you select in a really beautiful way. And then there's this glide show, which is really neat. And I'll just go ahead and show you that right now. And so you just pick a bunch of images that you like, and it makes this glide show of those images. So I'll just pick a bunch of images to give you a sense of what this does. All right, and then you can occasionally come up here to the right and save. So what happens as you scroll down the web page, it's going to make these images fade in and fade out. And this is sort of like that New York Times, if you've seen these articles in New York Times where they use these really beautiful images in the articles that they're writing. This is the sort of technique that they use. Not sure if they use Adobe Spark or if they just have somebody on staff that just knows some really advanced JavaScript and cascading style sheets. But the good news is, for regular people like us, we can do this now without too much work. The split layout is more like a news story, so we can add some images, and then we can go ahead and add a text box and type our story here. So if you're doing this again as a report or an essay, you would just students would just type on these. All right. So this is hopefully giving you a sense of what this tool does. If students wanted to present this like as a presentation, they could just go ahead and hit present here. You can always preview it. There's some settings that you can change, but not a lot there. And then finally there's this share button, and that's where you'll just go ahead and publish and share the link. If you don't want to get noticed, you can turn that off. And then pick a category, so I'll just do education here. And then finally just going to hit create link, and you can choose what type of link. And if you just want just a URL, you can just copy that. Students could turn this address into your Google Classroom just by copying and pasting it into the comments, or you could make an assignment where they would submit that URL. Okay, so now when people go to visit that site, I'll just paste it in. This is the sort of thing they'll see. And then as you scroll down, you get these nice visual effects. And this is a terrible example because I've just spent 5 seconds on it, but you get a sense of what it does. If you get the Pro account, it'll take all of these watermarks off so that it looks more like you've made it from scratch. All right, so beyond that, if I go back to the Adobe Spark homepage, I can click plus and I can add a video. And again, I can look through these templates and pick the one that seems to match what I want to do. So I'll just go ahead and quickly make another. And then within that, you can pick a specific type of template. And again, it just prompts you through those. You can always start from scratch if you want, but I would say use their templates. That's kind of the whole point of this. So here's the storyboard down here at the bottom, the timeline, and so now on each of these graphics, you could just go ahead and type whatever text you have, add whatever sort of images you'd like. And I can record, if I have a microphone, I can go ahead and record this sort of like a Ken Burns, where there's a lot of still images with narration over the top. I can record for 30 seconds on this. And then I just go to the next slide and I can just continue to add as much as I'd like. I can do whatever typing I want to do over this. And so just for the sake of time, I'm just going to throw in a few pictures here quickly. But again, this movie might replace an essay or a paper that you're going to have your students write, and you're maybe thinking, well, where are they going to do all this typing? Well, they could do it here, but that's not really the intention of this tool. It's really to make a movie. So I would say have them record with this microphone the essay. So maybe each paragraph of their essay gets recorded, narrated using this microphone tool. So I can add video. So if I've shot some video, say with my cell phone or something, I can go ahead and add that, or a camera. So you can go ahead and put video in this also. There's some choices over here in terms of what type of slide. So again, feel free to check this out. It's all super easy to use stuff, and it's just going to be a matter of playing around with it a little bit. All right, and so again, when I'm done, I could download this if I want to make an MP4. I could actually make a video announcement for the school and give that to Mr. Clark to add to his video announcements. If you want to relieve some of his workload, it's going to come out looking really professional. I can preview it here. I can share the movie here. Again, I don't want to get noticed, so I'll turn that off. And then just choose a category and create that link. And right now, Adobe Spark is turning this into a movie that my kids would be able to turn into me through the Google Classroom, or however you want to accept that, in the comments of a Google Classroom through Google Form, whatever the case might be, however you'd like to collect these. It takes just a minute to render those, so be patient. The longer the slideshow or the movie, the longer that process will take. All right, and so again, I can just grab that quickly, and if I visit that now from say a student submitted that, it's still preparing the link, so let's see. Here we go. So, oh, and I'll show you the music. I'll go back and show you the music here in a second. All right, but it made a nice movie for us. Let's see if I come back here. Let me go back to Adobe Spark to my home page. Go back to my projects here on the upper left. So this is the movie that I just made. I wanted to show you the music really quick because the music turns out to be a really nice part of this tool. If I come up here to the upper right, there's all this free music that comes with it, and so if you don't like the one that it selects, you can pick and play whichever one you want. So if I wanted the old country accordion, I would just check that. Now it puts that music in the background, and it turns out the music really creates the feeling of the movie that you're making. So, and you can turn the volume down on that, so if you do have narration, the music doesn't overpower the narration. So anyways, neat tool. Again, when you're done, just download that MP4 or share it. Really up to you how you want to accept those. All right, so now the pro account. So remember, to get to the PSD Ed Tech page, we can just Google PSD Ed Tech, and we can just go to this site. You've been upgrading, but this one is a little different. So instead of upgrading, you have to go to Tech Help, and you choose Adobe Spark. And basically what you're going to do is go into your teacher's gradebook in Synergy, and you're going to download all your student email addresses using this report. You'll set to text, student pin, and it's going to export a spreadsheet with your student email addresses. And then once you have those, then you're going to go to help.psdschools.org, make a ticket, entering all of the data that you see here and attaching the spreadsheet. Which, by the way, if you don't have students, you can go ahead and fill this out and just skip the step of making the spreadsheet and just say, hey, I'm a classified employee without students. I want to make a cool movie. Please give me the pro account. And then they'll do that usually pretty quickly. At least in my case, it didn't take more than an hour or so to get that email back from them with my pro account. Now remember, when you do get the pro account, you need to, let me go back to the home page and sign out here. I'm just going to sign out quickly. When you sign in, once you have that pro account, you and your kids need to log in with the school account here, and that's really the only difference, and you'll just be using your PSD email address and password there. And it might be actually the sign-in with Enterprise ID. So let me look at those instructions. Yeah, that could be the case. Anyways, here's that little movie here that will show you how to sign in. So you could just play that for your kids. All right, hey, so that's Adobe Spark. Check it out. It's a fresh way to make a website or a movie if you've gotten tired of some of the old tools, or maybe you don't have great design skills yourself. Thanks for watching this week's High Tech Friday.